and Tom Thayer. He'll be on the sidelines. It is Jason McKie. J-Mac, what's up, buddy?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
We're great. We're excited for Week 8. It's funny because, like, my heart is saying, oh, come on, Jaden, play. What a wonderful thing it'd be for football fans, Caleb versus Jaden. My head is like, shut up, the dummy. It's easier to beat Marcus Mariota. So how do you view the game, and what do you hope happens at quarterback for the Commanders?
Yeah, I mean, I want Jaden to play. You know, if you as a player and competitor, you want to be the best. You want to be the team when they're at their best, and that's when Jaden Daniels is in there. You know, we've seen that all year. He's been, the spark and the catalyst to the revitalization of that Commanders team, that offense in particular. So I want to see him in. I want to see how this defense would match up against a young, dynamic quarterback that's really effective in passing game back, but can also really put stress on the defense with his legs as well. So I'm hoping he plays. I think Marcus is going to end up playing. I hope I'm wrong, but even if he does, I think the real matchup, and I talked about this yesterday, is Cliff Kingsbury and Coach Eberflus, calling that defense. So Cliff Kingsbury is commanding, I think they're the 4th rated offense in the league. They scored the most rushing touchdowns as a team with 14. Now, I say all that to say this. Jaden Daniels has scored 6 of those rushing touchdowns. So it's going to be a different offense if Marcus Mariota is at the helm at quarterback, but I'm hoping to see Jaden Daniels at quarterback.
Specific to their ground attack, Jason, it's a good place to go here, with and without Jaden. I think if you ask most NFL fans, like in terms of explosiveness and maybe EPA per play, like which rush offense has been the best, people would probably say the Ravens. It's Washington by a mile. And a lot of that obviously is Jaden Daniels, but their running backs, all 3 of that they've used, Eckler, McNichols, and Brian Robinson, have all found a fair amount of success. Like, how much is their run game affected without Jaden? Is he making it that much easier for everybody else? And is he being schemed that way because of how dynamic he is with his legs as an athlete?
I think it's different because as a defense, when you have a quarterback that can tuck the ball and run, it does change things, right? Sometimes you have to have a spy in there spying a quarterback, but also if Washington's running read zone to things like that, you have to have a guy that's assigned to the running back and assigned to that quarterback if he pulls the ball. So it definitely presents a challenge when you have a quarterback like that in the lineup. Now, let's not get it twisted. Marcus Mariota, he's older, he's longer in the tooth, but he can still run. But he's not Jaden Daniels. He doesn't have that youth, but he's still effective. In the run game, he can pull it down and create some problems, if he touches that ball and runs. But you talk about the 3 backs they have. You talk about Brian Robinson Jr., talk about Austin Eckler, and then Jeremy Nichols. Like, they're 3 backs that can get it done, and they've showed they can generate explosive plays all year. So it's the way Cliff Kingsbury is scheming these things. It's the way he's calling the run game. He presents a lot of challenges, too, because he's going to create all kind of formations, same things that we've seen the past few weeks, because, Kingsbury is a part of that tree. He's been, he kind of does the same thing that they do in San Fran, a lot of motions and shifts to gain an advantage, to gain a gap advantage on the defense as well. So I think that's why they've been successful. And their offensive line isn't bad. I mean, their offensive line is pretty good, especially in the run game.
Yep.
The defensive backfield for the Chicago Bears has faced some injuries. We don't know who's going to be back or who will be back. How well can this team play when another team now has a little time to scout them and take a look at what they're doing?
Yeah, this, I hope Brisker's in. I'm not sure. And we still, looking at the status of Kyler Gordon. I'm glad Tyreek, from what I'm hearing, he'll be back in the lineup. But, like we talked about before, you got a good collection of guys in the secondary that can make plays. And we saw Josh Blackwell make plays. We saw Elijah Hick make plays over there in London. So I'm confident with whoever's in there. They have a firm grasp of the scheme, and they'll be able to play at a high level. And it's good because the Bears had an extra opportunity to scout, the Commanders. They got to, I don't know if they all did it. They're on a bye week, so I know guys are on vacation. But at the same time, you got to sit back and watch the Commanders just completely destroy the Panthers, as everybody has done every single week. But it gave you an opportunity to get an early scouting report on these guys. So, the guys should be refreshed. It should be energized and ready to make a good push the second run of the season.
Speaking of the bye, Jason, we're talking to Jason McKie from our radio crew. It's Carmen and Jurko here on your home for the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Oftentimes when you think about, start listing off the great coaches in the league, and if you look, you normally see a pretty strong correlation with their ability to have their teams play at a high level and win games with extra time coming out of a bye. Like Tomlin's always been great at it. Harbaugh's been great at it. Andy Reid's like 22-4 with extra time. Now, obviously, we can't talk about Matt Eberflus in the same vein, but his teams have played pretty well out of the bye. They hung tough with Philly a couple of years ago during that long losing streak, but they played better. They beat Detroit last year out of the bye. What is it that the good coaches do? What do they take advantage of when that bye week arrives?
Yeah, well, for the players, it's a bye week. For the coaches, it's another work week, right? Yeah, you get some time off, but it's a great opportunity to self-scout. So what you're going to do is you're going to self-scout your team as a whole. Where are we deficient at? Where are we having success in all phases of the game? Offense, defense, and special teams. Coach Flus talked about the other day when they opened up practice, focusing in on the run on both sides of the ball. Where have we had success running the ball? Where have we lacked success defensively stopping the run? Who doesn't have the right gap integrity? Why are we getting all these explosive runs generated on us on defense? So it gives an opportunity to do that, to fix the areas that need correction, and also just continue to enhance the areas that you're having success in.
Is there anything you'd like to see the Bears do? Do you have like a Jason McKie wish list ahead of the trade deadline in about 10 days or so?
I really don't. I've heard all kinds of scenarios, crazy ones, interesting ones that could possibly happen. I know one thing that we've seen. Ryan Poles is not shy to make a trade, and we know he's always going to do whatever he can to help improve this roster. But the one thing I do like about Ryan Poles is he's done it and he's proven and he's shown it. He's not going to do anything to hinder the growth of this team in the off season, right? He's not going to hinder any chance of us being major players in the draft, in free agency. He always wants to be competitive. So he's always going to put us in position, this organization in position, to be competitive in those areas. So if there's a guy out there and financially it makes sense and they can help the team, I wouldn't be surprised if Poles makes that decision. But, we'll see what happens. I like where the team is at right now, but I wouldn't be opposed if there was a name out there, on either side of the ball that can come in and it fits your standard and your playing style, but it also fits the budget in terms of, financially, that's not going to hurt this team. Then I'd be all in for that as well.
Are the Bears are they more likely to unload a player or onload a player?
That's a good question, Jurko. I think they're more likely to unload a player. I mean, the big names we've heard, right? Nate Davis, He hasn't played. Bayless Jones hasn't played. I mean, they've been watching the game, with me on the sideline.
Right.
Khalil Herbert's interesting too. I'm a huge Khalil Herbert fan. I know he helps you on special teams. He hadn't had an opportunity to get any carries. I think there would be some interest in him, especially with teams that are running back needy. I think Khalil Herbert's a solid back that can do a lot of good things in this league. But the names that I would look at would be Bayless and Nate Davis.
All right, Jason, thanks as always, brother. We'll be listening this weekend. Have a great trip to Washington.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
We'll talk to you later. There's Jason McKie, brought to you by the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, partnering with your business to save money and
Wonderful.
energy.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. You just got one, by the way.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah, Bleck and Abdallah.
First one of the year.
What?
First one of the year.
I don't think it's the first one.
I don't think so either.
No.
I don't